Hello, welcome back. It's time for one of my favorite recipes, spaghetti with meat sauce. So I love spaghetti because you can use pretty much any kind of vegetable that you want to put in it, you can put in there. I'm starting off with a couple tablespoons of olive oil and I'm adding in my chopped sweet onions. I'm using some chopped up mushrooms, some green peppers, and yes, some diced up carrots. Trust me, you can't taste it. It doesn't taste like a traditional carrot. It's just going to taste like a very developed full flavor sauce when you're all done. So I love the versatility of spaghetti. Pretty much anything goes. So I'm just going to saute those vegetables down. And like I said, those couple tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm also going to add in some minced garlic or diced garlic. And I'm just going to let that saute for a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to go in with my meat. I'm using ground beef or ground chuck. You can use pretty much any ground meat. You can use ground pork, you can use ground turkey, ground chicken. The key to a good sauce, though, is seasoning the meat while it's cooking. So right before it got all the way cooked through, I added in my all-purpose Savory Note Soul seasoning, but you can use any all-purpose seasoning that you like, and just using that to really, like I said, get into that meat and get it well-developed flavor. Then I'm going to drain off, don't forget to drain, and then I'm going to add in my Hunt's tomato sauce, which is one of the really best ones on the market. Don't doubt it until you try it. Also going to add in some pepper, a very little bit of salt. Don't add too much salt because a little goes a long way. And then I'm also going to add in some sugar. Yep, you heard me. Some sugar. It's probably about a tablespoon and a half, 2 tablespoons at the most of sugar. And then I'm also going to add in some Italian seasoning. And you can shake in as much Italian seasoning as you like because there's no salt in it. You're just adding flavor or developing flavor. So a good bit of Italian seasoning. I want to give that a good stir, and then we are going to let our sauce sit and develop on a low simmer. That is one of the other keys to a good spaghetti sauce, is letting the meat simmer for a good long period of time. We're talking 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour if you have the time, as long as it's on a low simmer. That's just going to help develop the flavor. I'm going to cover that up. And then, like I said, let it simmer for about 15, 20 minutes. Now I'm going to come back in just because I need to add in one more ingredient. I'm going to add in, oh yeah, that looks great right there. Looking great. I'm going to add in some shredded Parmesan cheese. So that just adds in a little extra. So I add a little Parmesan cheese to my sauce. And then, of course, with your spaghetti water or your noodle water, you want to make sure that it's heavily salted and don't break your noodles. Then just add in your cooked noodles when they get al dente, not cooked all the way through. When they get about al dente, go ahead and add them into your sauce. Or, of course, you can add the sauce on top of the noodles. Today, I just felt like adding the noodles into the sauce. So, I guess because I really wanted to add more cheese, and you're going to see about that in a minute. So, you can add, like I said, you can put your sauce on top of the noodles, or you can put your noodles in the sauce. This is what we decided to do this night. So just getting that a good mix. Just make sure you don't add too much pasta. I probably had almost too much pasta here. It was the whole entire box. But it is over 2 pounds of meat, so it should work itself out. So after I give that a good stir, I'm going to put it back on the stove on that low simmer and just let it simmer even more. And this is why you do not want to cook your noodles all the way through. You only want to cook it to right when it reaches al dente. Al dente meaning firm to the bite. So it's not raw, but it's not mushy all the way through. It is got a little bite to it. All right, and cover it. And like I said, here's where we're going to add in that extra cheese on top. I just shredded probably about almost a block of Kobe Jack cheese. Put that on top. I'll put the lid on while it's still on simmer so it can melt down. Then I just garnish it with a bit of parsley because I like the way parsley looks on almost everything. So a little bit of parsley and pretty much done. It's ready to serve. So this is probably about an hour. I got dinner on the stove. And just getting all of that cheesy bit. Nope, I want some cheese. Go on the other side. The other side, yeah. I want cheese on my bit. So here we are. Quick, easy meal. You can have it on dinner on the table in an hour. And it's going to taste like you went to your local Italian restaurant. But guess what? We have Italian at home. Here it is, our classic spaghetti with meat sauce. One more look. You guys enjoy.